Let me run. Yeah, tell me. Just let me do it. I know.
All right, you ready? All right. I'd like to call this meeting of the March 17th, 2025 Wilson County Board of Education meeting to order. I'd like to remind the public that the meeting is being televised on Spectrum and Greenlight Channel 22 and live streamed through the Wilson County Schools YouTube channel. The public can also view the meeting by downloading the Wilson County Schools TV 22 app and through the links on the district's Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter pages and the website. Everybody has their agenda in front of them. Do I hear a approval motion?
Mr. Chair, I move that we approve the agenda for the March 17th, 2025 Wilson County Board of Education meeting.
Second.
All right. It has been moved by Ms. Powell and seconded by Dr. Fitch that the agenda be approved. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it. Motion carries. Now I'm looking for an approval of the minutes. Oh, Pledge of Allegiance, I'm sorry. Pledge of Allegiance, be led by Ms. Boyette.
Thank you. Would you stand, please? It'll be followed by a moment of silence also. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You may be seated.
All right, Pledge of Allegiance, moment of silence. Now, approval of the minutes.
Mr. Chair,
Dr. Fitch.
I move that the minutes of February 17th, 2025 regular board meeting be approved.
Second.
All right, it has been moved by Dr. Fitch and seconded by Mrs. Boyette that the minutes be approved. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Ayes have it, and the motion carries. All right. Moving to the good news presentation. Dr. Mills.
Who's helping me tonight?
Ms. Boyette.
Ms. Boyette?
I'll let you go through.
Yes, ma'am. All right, board members, audience members, tonight we have one recognition of two individuals, and this is for First North Carolina Advocacy Day. And if I could ask Taylor Jordan and Addison King to come forward. And you'll have to stay up here just a little bit. All right, tonight we want to recognize Taylor Jordan, a junior at Wilson Academy of Applied Technology, and Addison King, a sophomore from Wilson Early College Academy, for a recent achievement. They were honored to be invited to the North Carolina General Assembly last month for the first North Carolina Advocacy Day. FIRST, which is an acronym that means for Inspiration and Recognition of Science and Technology, is a renowned global STEM initiative that challenges high school students to design, build, and program industrial-sized robots and to compete in dynamic events that promote teamwork, innovation, and problem-solving. We need you to come do a few things around the house after the time change. Taylor and Addison were selected to represent the Wilson County Schools' first robotics team, which are named the Whirlybots, joining other teams from across North Carolina in advocating for the growth and expansion of STEM and robotics programs for K-12 students. During their visit, they had the opportunity to engage with a number of representatives, including Wilson's own Dante Pittman, to underscore the critical need for continued support and funding for these programs. We are incredibly proud of Taylor and Addison for their outstanding leadership and dedication to advocating for not only STEM and robotics, but also for Whirlybots in our district. Their involvement in this prestigious event highlights not only their individual commitment to STEM and robotics education, but also the collective efforts of our district to inspire the next generation of innovators. We also want to thank Whirlybots coach Kevin Basso, Dr. Pam Batchelor, Mr. Jordan, and Mr. King for attending the event, and I think I see your principals back there with us as well, hiding in the back trying as well. So congratulations, it's a great honor, and we are definitely proud of your robotics and STEM prowess. So would you like to recognize anybody with you tonight? Yes, brag on your parents.
My dad's pretty much taught me all of my engineering skills, so thanks. And my dad's taught me most of my skills.
Congratulations. We need to get pictures. And then if mom and dad and anyone else wants to get pictures, now's the time to do it. So don't run. Congratulations.
All right, next up on the agenda, we have the chairman's report, and I've got a fairly short report. The 54th Annual Human Relations Celebration was held on March 10th. We are proud of Sharon Hyde Jones, an EC teacher at Fike, who won the Educator of the Year Award, and Eli Kicklighter from Rock Ridge Elementary, who won the Youth Community Service Award. Congratulations to y'all. The Wilkes County Board of Education is proud of both of you. We've also got the 4-H show and sale on the 27th. We have several students that are participating across the district, and we're looking forward to seeing what they've done. And that's going to conclude my report, and I'm going to give it over to Dr. Mills.
Mr. Chair, board members, audience members, since our last regular board meeting, we've been busy with events in the school system. We've celebrated School Social Work Week, National School Breakfast Week, and Read Across America Week, where no doubt many of us spent time serving breakfast and reading to students. That's one event that we all look forward to, being involved with that. But we also participated recently in the Wilson Education Partnerships Circus Extravaganza Spelling and Trivia Bee last week on the 13th, which raised $17,500 for our district. Congratulations to Mr. Breen and his team for their victory. We're so glad you're not scaring us to death as a clown again. That was unnerving. The district also held the elementary and middle school Battle of the Books competitions on March 5th, one of my personal favorite events. Congrats to the teams from New Hope Elementary and Forest Hills Middle School for their victories. Also, thank you to board members and audience members and staff members who participated in that event as panel members and other support staff. For those of you who have not participated in that event or helped out, please do so next year. It's a wonderful event. And finally, I wanted to remind everyone about our upcoming career fair scheduled for this Saturday, March 22nd, between 9 and noon at Darden Middle School. Representatives from our schools and departments will be in attendance, and we'll have preliminary interviews on site. And all we ask is that attendees bring copies of their most recent transcripts. So we're looking forward to that as well. So, Mr. Chair, that is all the news for the superintendent's report.
All right, next on the agenda, we have our section for public input. And just to remind the public, each person is granted 3 minutes for his and her presentation. This portion of the meeting is for the board to hear matters of interest to the public. However, obscene or vulgar statements, personal attacks, and statements reasonably perceived to be disruptive or immediately threatening to the orderly operation of the meeting shall not be permitted. And we have, my apologies. I have the sheet somewhere. I have it in front of me. I was reading off of it.
You just
make me
turn it back and order.
Yeah, no, I'm telling you.
Just a test, just testing.
We have two people that have signed up to speak tonight, and the first is Travis Driver.
doing? Thanks for allowing me to come and speak to y'all. I will say it is definitely a pleasure to speak to the people that represent Wilson County students. Y'all were chosen to be here, and that's special. But I did want to come in here and speak on some things that had just kind of moved me here recently. So who I am, my name's Travis Driver. I'm from Wilson County. I grew up in Wilson County, in Wilson County schools. My wife's a teacher, my mom's a teacher, my uncle's a teacher, my brother's a teacher, my sister-in-law's a teacher. I myself have been a teacher for 15 years. I was Craven County Schools. Actually, was in Craven County Schools when Dr. Mills was in Craven County Schools as well. I was New Hanover County Schools. My teacher's licenses are in autism, behavior, emotional disabilities, adaptive curriculum special ed, general special ed, secondary and high school ELA. So I came here to speak on the importance of special education and EC services and programs. I'm speaking fully funded programs. I'm speaking a system that does not fail students that are at highest risk, that have the highest need. To me, those things consist of low student-to-teacher ratios, full staffing that allows for the least restrictive environment to be truly accessed, and that's going to be something that is a key term to me, which is that truly accessed. Funding for up-to-date data research-based materials for all levels of EC students. So I want to go back to that full staffing. Full staffing is whole school staffing. That's bus drivers, that's substitutes, that's therapists, that's coaches, that's leadership. Those are social workers. Those are cafeteria workers. When there's not full staffing, that accessibility for that least restrictive environment cannot be fully done. So I know those are a million things that can and would help our systems. But I think there's some barriers of what we got going on right now. I think teachers do need better pay. I think teachers are currently the butt of a lot of attacks for doing their jobs and even false accusations. Our candidate who did not win the election for state superintendent had some pretty gross attacks on teachers, that they were grooming students, that the plus and the LGBTIQ was for pedophile. Those things are pretty harsh things for a potential leader for our state system of education. And I think we need to recognize those things. I don't know if you guys know about Ryan Walters in Oklahoma. His attacks on his own teachers. He is the superintendent, and his daily, weekly attacks are brutal on his teachers just doing their jobs. He's the guy that bought all the Bibles, by the way. When we get into the barriers that I hear you, ma'am. Anyway, look into who is going to be affecting our system. Board of Education being decimated, health
Mr.
services.
Driver.
I hear you.
Thank you.
Be looking at those things, everybody.
Next up, we've got Dr. Bayo.
Good evening, folks.
Good evening.
President Trump's executive orders mandate that all diversity, equity, and inclusion programs, known as DEI, critical race theory programs, known as CRT, and social emotional learning programs, known as SEL, be eliminated from all federally funded organizations. They specify the following. Number one, boys are not allowed to use girls' bathrooms or locker rooms. That's Executive Order 14168. Number two, boys are not permitted to participate on girls' sports teams. That's Executive Order 14201. 3, students' pronouns must align with their biological sex. That's Executive Order 14168. Number 4, parents must be informed if their child is involved in gender transitioning. Executive Order 14190. Number 5 is gender ideology must be removed from the school system. Executive Order 14190. Schools cannot refer students to facilities that provide sex-altering drugs or surgeries, as Executive Orders 14190 and 14187. And number 7, schools are prohibited from promoting transgender ideology, Executive Order 14190. Regarding the potential impact these executive orders will have on school policy and school behavior, will the Wilson County School Boards implement these orders? And finally, to report potential noncompliance with these executive orders, people in the community can utilize the United States Office of Government Ethics website. It's www.oge.gov, specifically the reporting misconduct page on that site, and the Office of Special Counsel for Whistleblower Information, www.osc.gov. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Van. All right, so we have a few options on how to address the speakers. We can direct the chairman to respond on the concern on behalf of the board, direct the administration to respond to the concerns, refer the matter to a board committee, refer the matter to administration, or place the matter of concern on the agenda for a future meeting.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, sir.
I'd ask that we ask administration to respond.
All right. Administration. All right.
I'll be glad to do so, Mr. Chair.
Thank you very much. All right, next on our agenda, we are moving into our committee reports. And first up, we have got Administrative Services Committee with Mr. Ryan Broom.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The Administrative Services Committee met this afternoon at 2:30. I attended, Mr. Batts attended, Mr. Borkin attended, and Dr. Christine Fitch all attended that Administrative Services meeting. The first thing we had on our agenda were information items regarding 4 contracts. The first was with FaciliServe. That was for 12 basketball backstops total, with 6 at Beddingfield in their main gym and 6 at Hunt in their main gym. That includes service to 6 of those backstops and electrical goal lifts in the amount of $49,564.09. The next contract that we received information on was to essentially redo and refurbish Fike's gym floor. That's with Royalwood Associates Incorporated in the amount of $41,127.77. The last 2 contracts for which we received information were with Playworld. The first was for a new K-2 playground piece for Gardner's Elementary School. Their last one had been damaged by a tree. And that was in the amount of $34,587.85. And then finally, a 3-5 playground piece for Jones Elementary School, which includes an ADA compliant swing. That was in the amount of $38,085.99. Following that, we received information regarding the Beddingfield High School Culinary Arts Classroom project and the Springfield Middle School reconstruction update. Regarding Beddingfield High School's Culinary Arts Classroom, a site meeting was held at Beddingfield on March the 12th. That included the Berry Building Group, Oakley Collier Architects, Principal Jenny Hayes, Ben Williams, Greg Woodard, and CTE Director Matt Creighton. Everybody got together and reviewed the current drawings for the Culinary Arts Classroom. They provided feedback and notes on the plans. The final plans are being submitted to DPI and the building inspector for approval. After we get all the approvals back, the work's going to be bidded out for Berry Building Group to start construction. Regarding Springfield, there was a site meeting on March 14th. That meeting included Barnhill Contracting, Oakley Colliers Associates, PDC Engineers, Springfield Principal Kelly Thomas, Ben Williams, Greg Woodard, and Darrell Woodard. The team discussed coordinating work between Barnhill and Wilson County Schools, including the coordinating reconstruction and Springfield's just daily operations. The permits for reconstruction drawings are currently under review. We anticipate getting those back sometime this week. Barnhill actually has started demolition today on the damaged wings. During the week of April 14th and April 21st, the roof and steel will be delivered, and it's the hope that by the end of May, the wings will be completely dried in so that interior work can start without worrying about any further weather issues. The target date for Springfield students to return to those 6th and 7th grade classrooms is still January 2026, as soon as they get back from break. We also had three action items. The first are budget amendments. It was the recommendation from the committee that we approve the amendments as offered by administration. Mr. Chair,
Mr. Breen.
I would move that we adopt the amendments to the state expense fund, local expense fund, federal expense fund, capital outlay expense fund, and local special revenue fund as recommended by administration.
All right, it has been moved by Mr. Breen and seconded by Dr. Fitch that we approve the state expense fund, local current expense fund, federal expense fund, capital outlay expense fund, and local special revenue fund amendments. Is there any discussion? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it, the motion carries. Mr. Breen.
Our next action item was regarding our audit contract. Every year, we go through the auditing process. This year, like several years prior, we received a contract from Anderson Smith White PLLC. It's my understanding that they do the audits for 85 out of the 115 LEAs across the state of North Carolina. This is a little bit atypical for our policy because our policy is that if a contract does not exceed $90,000, it does not necessarily need to come before the board for action and approval. However, as a board, we felt that it was important to have this contract brought to further underscore our commitment to transparency and our commitment to appropriately spending all the taxpayer dollars that we receive throughout the course of the year. With that being said, Mr. Chair, I move that we approve the contract with Anderson Smith White PLLC to perform our 2025-2026 audit not to exceed $50,000.
All right, it has been moved by Mr. Breen and seconded by Dr. Fitch and Mr. Batts that we approve the contract with Anderson Smith and White PLLC for the 2025-2026 audit contract. Is there any discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries. Mr.
Our next two action items are more contracts. These aren't new contracts, rather they are amendments to existing contracts. The first being with Barnhill Building Group. It's an amendment to our existing contract with them for the Frederick Douglass Elementary School contract for redesign and pre-construction services in the amount of $113,753. The second is with Swiftway Transit LLC to amend our current contract from not to exceed $750,000 to increase that amount to $1 million. Swiftway Transit LLC provides transportation services for our exceptional children across the entire district. Mr. Chair,
Mr. Breen.
I move that we adopt the amendments of the contract with Barnhill Building Group regarding the Frederick Douglass Elementary School contract for redesign and pre-construction services in the amount of $113,753, and Swiftway Transit LLC, the contract to provide services to exceptional children, transportation services for exceptional children across the district not to exceed $1 million.
All right, it has been moved by Mr. Breen, seconded by Dr. Fitch and Mr. Batts, that we adopt the Barnhill Building Group amendment to the Frederick Douglass Elementary School contract for redesign and pre-construction services in the amount of $113,753, and also the Swiftway Transit LLC amendment to the contract to provide services to our EC students across the district not to exceed $1 million. Is there any discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries.
Mr. Chair, that concludes all the Administrative Services Committee report.
Thank you, Mr. Breen. Next up, we have Instructional Services Committee with Mrs. Boyette.
Instructional Services Committee met this afternoon, and all of our members were present. We first of all have some contracts requiring board notification. The first of these is to replace the IdentiKid system that we have for when you're going into a school or to check out a child from a school. We're looking to transition to a new firm, Raptor Technologies. It'll handle the visitor and volunteer management platform. And one of the devices will be portable. Will be in the office, and the other device will be a laptop that will be portable. The Raptor Technologies contract is for $20,099.20, and Apple Education for the iPads that would go to use the platform for the visitor management in the amount of $32,985.76. That would be 2 at each school. So, Mr. Chair, oh, no, I don't have to make a motion on that one. Thank you. The second item is revised policy 3460, graduation requirements, first reading. You may recall that we went through some requirements that were added for graduation, and this revised policy brings that up to date so that everything is matching and says the same thing about our graduation requirements, and this is a first reading. For our action items, the first item up is the revised 24-25 traditional calendar. Those second snow days that we had to be out meant many changes were required. We were out Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, February 19, 20, and 21. So those are changing to non-days. The Friday, March 14th, was an optional teacher workday. It's already been an instructional day. The next change, Friday, April the 18th, would change from a holiday for teachers to an optional teacher workday. That's so that we wouldn't have to add another optional teacher workday at the end of the school year. Monday, April the 21st, will change from an annual leave day to a holiday. Wednesday, June the 4th, will change from an early release day. It was the last day of school, and now it's going to change to a full regular instructional day. And Thursday, June the 5th, will change from a mandatory work day to an early release day. And those should make up our hours so that we will meet the requirements for students. Wednesday, June the 11th, will change from an optional teacher workday to a mandatory workday. That is so that we can meet the requirements for our Proficiency Summer School, which is a Wilson County Schools initiative. Monday and Tuesday, June the 16th and 17th, will become optional teacher work days. And Wednesday, June the 18th, will become an annual leave day. The administration recommends the adoption of this revised calendar. So, Mr. Chair, on behalf of the Instructional Services Committee, I move that we accept the revised 2024 traditional calendar. Second.
All right, it has been moved by Mrs. Boyette, seconded by Ms. Powell, that we adopt the revised 2024-2025 traditional calendar. Is there any discussion? All in favor, aye? Aye. All opposed?
Nay.
All right, ayes have it, 6-1 with Mrs. Boyette in dissent. Thank you, Ms. Boyette.
Okay, the ditto for the revised 24-25 restart calendar. the exact same changes that were in the first document. Nothing different. Same days, changed from instructional day, 2 instructional days, and adding the half-day at the end of, on June the 5th. So, Mr. Chair, on behalf of the Instructional Services Committee, I move that we approve the revised 2024-25 restart calendar.
Second.
All right, it has been moved by Mrs. Boyette, seconded by Ms. Powell, that we adopt the revised 2024-2025 restart calendar. Is there any discussion? All in favor? Aye. All opposed?
Nay.
The ayes have it. The motion carries 6-1. Please show Mrs. Boyette in dissent. Mrs. Boyette.
The next is the revised 24-25 early college calendar. The changes here are not nearly as extensive. Again, we're replacing the instructional days, February 19th, 20th, and 21st changed to non-days. Thursday, May 15th changes from an optional teacher work day to an instructional day. Wednesday, May 21st will change from an optional teacher work day to a mandatory day. Thursday, Friday, and Monday, May the 29th through the 30th, 2025, and June 2nd, 2025, will become optional teacher work days. The administration recommends adoption of this revised calendar, and note that with an early college calendar, we don't have the same requirements for instruction that we do with the regular calendars and the restart calendars. So, Mr. Chair, on behalf of the Instructional Services Committee, I move that we approve the revised 2024-25 early college calendar.
Second.
All right, it has been moved by Mrs. Boyette and seconded by Ms. Powell that we adopt the revised 2024-2025 early college calendar. Is there any discussion? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The ayes have it unanimously. Motion carries. Ms. Boyette.
Okay, we're getting ready for summer reading camp, and per North Carolina SL 2021-8, Section 7B, each LEA is required to provide a signing bonus of at least $1,200, with the total amount to be determined by the local Board of Education, to any teacher that meets all of these criteria. Associated with high growth in reading on the EVOS data, was awarded a reading performance bonus administered by the Department of Public Instruction, and accepts employment to provide instruction during a reading camp. These bonuses, therefore, are to encourage our best teachers that have had high achievement in EVOS and reading performance bonuses to work in our summer program, our summer reading program. So we are funding these out of PRC 85 literacy intervention, and the district staff recommends the board approve this sign-on bonus in the amount of $1,500 for reading camp teachers that qualify for all three. Mr. Chair, on behalf of the Instructional Services Committee, I move that we approve the 2025 Summer Reading Camp sign-on bonus of $1,500.
Second.
All right, it has been moved by Mrs. Boyette, seconded by Mr. Breen and Ms. Powell, that we adopt the 2025 Summer Reading Camp sign-on bonus. Is there any discussion? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it unanimously, and the motion carries. Ms. Boyette.
In that same line and under that same section, each LEA is required to provide a performance bonus of at least $150 per student to a teacher who provided instruction at the third grade reading camp for students that were assigned to that teacher And for those students who did not previously demonstrate proficiency and that do demonstrate proficiency at the end of the reading camp on an alternative assessment. Any bonuses are not subject to retirement. The total amount is to be determined by the Board of Education, and the administration is recommending that we approve this performance bonus of $150 per student for reading camp teachers that qualify for the bonus. And just to reiterate, the signing bonus is to try to get teachers to work. That's before the signing bonus, and this is at the end of the sessions. The teachers would get $150 per student in the third grade reading camp for those that do demonstrate proficiency. So, Mr. Chair, on behalf of the Instructional Services Committee, I move that we approve the 2025 summer reading camp performance bonuses.
Second.
All right, it has been moved by Mrs. Boyette, seconded by Ms. Powell, that we adopt the 2025 summer reading camp performance bonuses. Is there any discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it. Motion carries unanimously. Mrs. Boyette.
The last action item we have is the approval of Wilson County Schools fees for 25-26. We have a list. They vary from parking fees, which are the same at all traditional high schools, senior fees, which are the same at all high schools, tech fee, which is the same at every school, and yearbook fees, which vary from school to school based on the type of yearbook and what they're selling. So these, I will note that there has been no change in them since the previous year, and it also specifies how that someone can have these fees waived if they qualify. So, Mr. Chair, on behalf of the Instructional Services Committee, I move that we approve the Wilson County Schools fees for 2025-26.
Second.
All right, it has been moved by Mrs. Boyette, seconded by Ms. Powell, that we adopt the Wilson County Schools fees of 2025-2026. Is there any discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries unanimously.
Mr. Chair, that's the end of my report.
All right,
Concludes.
thank you very much, Ms. Boyette. The next item that we have on the agenda is the 2025-2026 Board of Education meetings. So everybody should have their list in front of them. Anybody have any thoughts?
Mr. Chair,
Dr.
I
Fitch?
move that the 2025-2026 Board of Education meetings as prescribed by the administration.
All right, it has been moved by Dr. Fitch and seconded by Mr. Breen that we adopt the 2025-2026 Wilson County Board of Education meetings. Is there any discussion? All right, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it, and the motion carries unanimously. All right. Mrs. Powell.
I move that the Wilson County Board of Education go into closed session to consider confidential personal matters as provided in the North Carolina General Statute 143-318.11A1 and 6, and 115C-319 through 321, to consider confidential student matters as provided in North Carolina General Statute 143-318.11A1 and the North Carolina General Statute 115C-402 and the Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act 20, United States Code 1232G, and to consult with the Board of Education attorneys and preserve the attorney-client privilege as provided in the North Carolina General Statute 143-318.11A3.
Second.
All right, it has been moved by Ms. Powell and seconded by Mrs. Boyette that the Wilkes County Board of Education go into closed session to consider confidential personnel matters as provided in North Carolina General Statute 143-318.11A1 and 6, and 115C-319 through 321 to consider confidential student matters as provided in North Carolina General Statute 143-318.11A1 and North Carolina General Statute 115C-402 and the Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act 20 USC 1232G, and to consult with the Board of Education attorney and provide and preserve the attorney-client privilege as provided in North Carolina General Statute 143-318.11A3. Is there any discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries, and we are moving into closed session.